So today's video is unboxing the 1/6 scale limited edition collectible accessory, the 1989 Batman display pose seated Batman vehicle accessory. It's more than an unboxing though. We're going to be fitting it into the Batmobile. We're going to be comparing it with the Hot Toys, and we're going to be putting it into the Batwing, all by Jazzinc, the Batwing and the Batmobile. So stay tuned, it's going to be a long one, but all in one. So we'll start with getting the seated Batman out of the box. Now I just got this delivered today, so I just couldn't wait to unbox this, even though I do have so many other videos in the pipeline that I've got to film and even to edit. But the first thing we've got is the instructions, single-sided. We've got the half cape, which feels like a pleathery material, and it already has the pleats over here on either side. Lift this open and we've got some foam inserts, and I'm just going to take Batman out to get started because I'm really keen. Feels pretty weighty in hand, solid, and pretty impressed with the likeness actually. The paintwork on the logo is pretty neat. It's just lacking a little bit of the yellow paint right on the top. The boots can swivel, and it already has the ring that's mentioned in the instructions, which gives it the accurate length for the Jazzinc Batmobile and Batwing. You take the O-rings out to shorten the legs so that he does fit in the Hot Toys Batmobile. If we set him down, we can have a look at the alternate arms, and these arms would go on the Batmobile. The gauntlet spikes look a little on the thin side, to me anyway. But for a seated accessory, there's still quite a good amount of detail. You're not really going to see a lot of this in the vehicle so well anyway. Just something worth noting that the magnet in his right arm has come apart. So when the two arms join together, actually now both of the magnets have come undone. So the magnets are almost useless now because they're not really stuck in where they should be. So before I put the half cape on, I just wanted to get a side-by-side comparison of the two sculpts. And I think you'll agree that the Jazzinc is the superior one. I'll get a close shot of both. what I'm going to do is take the cowl off the Hot Toys and off the Jazzinc. And then place them next to each other. Now they're facing each other, almost having a face-off. I think from the side profile you can see a real big difference between the two. The shape of the mouth is completely inaccurate with the Hot Toys. The chin rests too far back and the lips are too pouty. The Jazzinc profile is a lot better. So well done. I would really hope that Jazzinc does a remake of an 89 Batman in a 1/6 scale. My one gripe on this head sculpt is that this right hand side of the mouth seems to droop down. And I did actually point that out in the Jazzinc Facebook group or on one of the comments. Now I haven't seen anyone else try this on camera, but I'm going to attempt to put the Jazzinc head on top of the Hot Toys body. They have the same rotating peg system, so it should be okay. Okay, it is clipped in, but it's not sitting flush. So I'm going to take that off and I'm going to see if we can take the peg out. No. It came out earlier actually on camera, the whole peg and housing for the peg. Maybe if we put it back on the Batman and then try and take it off. No. I did have it earlier where the whole housing came out. Maybe it's not supposed to be like that, but it did. Because if that comes out, maybe we can just place it on top of the Hot Toys body and it won't be protruding out so much. But it looks like it's wedged in there nicely now. Maybe since I pressed it down to clip it onto the Jazzinc body earlier. I could use pliers, but didn't want to put too much force. So, me being persistent, I did take it out with pliers. I'll show you on camera how I did that. So, you can take the whole join out with pliers. I was trying to get the housing out as well, but that is now wedged in there very well. But now that it's out, let's see if we can place this on top and sit it flush. So it still doesn't sit very flush because it's a little bit narrow in there for this part here. Unless we can take this out from the Hot Toys figure, which I don't think I've tried, but I'm going to take the cape off and let's see. Not sure if that one will come out very easily. Oh, there we go. So you can take that piece out. That's the neck piece. At the risk of destroying everything, we have taken it out to see how this will look sitting just kind of flush. So I think that actually looks quite superior to the normal head sculpt. Now we haven't put the cape on, so I'm going to try with that as well. And I haven't seen anyone do this, especially on camera, so I was really curious to see what it looks like. I'm going to button the cape up without breaking anything. Okay, so the cape is now in position. Now this is just going to have to sit without being actually clipped in. And this poor cape, every time I manipulate it, it's flaking away. It's had a tough life. And this is what he looks like with the Hot Toys body. I think it looks really good, just sitting there, but it is loose. So you can just pick it up and you'll see what I mean about the cape. So I'm wondering how many other people are having the cape flaking issues that you can see on mine. And just to get out of the way some issues about breaking things, yeah, I dropped the cover for the canopy of the Batwing and cracked it over here and over here. So make sure if you are taking this out of the room or a room and you've got to turn it over, take off the top canopy cover and put it out of the way safely. And this little piece here doesn't look like it moves. So, oh no, this one does move a little bit as well. So you might want to take the smaller part off as well before you move it. So essentially I'm breaking things so you don't have to. Okay, now we're going to make our headless seated Batman into a full seated Batman with his calf cape. So we're going to put that in position for the cape. But I did forget that I've got to put the ball joint back in. So this is our Jazzinc Batman head. The ball joint has to go back in. And I'm going to use the pliers to help with that because it is a tight fit. This is not ideal because you do damage the ball joint as you do this. So I don't recommend doing this. It's become very hard to put back, but should be almost in. Looks like it's in now. So now we're going to put it on top of the housing there. Looks like it's sitting nice and flush. Now you do get some, oh no, it's just popped right off again. Maybe it didn't go in all the way. Let's try again. I like to get the cape lined up accurately as well. And evenly. No, it seems to want to keep popping off, but maybe that's when I'm tilting the head back. So it seems to have fit snug there. And in terms of the pleats, I think I like them to be downwards like this, so that it looks like that. In terms of the details on the cape, it is too much of a smooth finish. I think the Hot Toys cape is the better finish with that more leather-like finish, and Jazzinc is just a very smooth finish, which is not movie accurate. So it might be interesting to put the Hot Toys cape on the Jazzinc, so I might do that now as well. Just to put the cape through more grief. It's really falling apart, this cape, but if I do it, you won't have to. So here we go. That is the Hot Toys cape. And the Jazzinc head. That doesn't want to sit properly at all now. It's a very loose fit. Cape's not sitting exactly where I would like it. Needs to bring that down a bit. Needs to be closer together. Feels like I'm really destroying the Hot Toys cape. But someone's got to do it. It doesn't want to really stay very well, but I think that cape is a lot better. So the cowl and the head fit much better without any cape in the way, but if you move the head back, it pops out really easily. One other criticism I have with this figure is the colour of the belt. I feel like it's too rich dark gold, but I also feel like the Hot Toys is too yellow. The belt, if you look at it really closely, it is a mix of a yellow gold. So I don't think any of them got it accurate, but I think the true color is something in between. So what I'm going to do is put the original cape back on and try to get it clipped in really well. And then because of the arm configuration, which is for the Batwing, I think we're going to start on the Batwing by placing it in there. And the trick is to line up everything nice and even before we press it down. But I'm not happy with how the cape is sitting, so it needs to come forward or back. So if it goes forward, it's too much. Maybe back a little bit. You got to really push down to get it sitting flush. And that looks good. Alright, let's see how easy he is to put in the Batwing. So I got the camera in position, but one thing I wanted to also show is the detail of the boots, which I think is really cool because they've got the Nike logo on the boot, which is a detail that's missing on the Hot Toys actually. Alright, now I haven't tried to fit this in yet, so this is my first attempt. Let's give it a shot. I'm wondering if you are best to take off the arms before you do this. I'm going to see if we can just slide it in as is. So far so good, although the gears for the controls are getting in the way a little bit, but I'm just going to move the arms around a little bit, but I don't want to break anything else, and I'm kind of getting it wedged. So I'm just still moving the arms around a little bit, jiggling it in. Okay, so he is in, but the arms are not where they need to be yet, but I'll just move my hands out of the way so you can see what that looks like at this point. And I'm just working out how to further manipulate him. So maybe getting one hand in first, maybe his right hand. Now it is a bit stiff, but I'm going to just try and manipulate his hand to grab the stick, but it looks like it will be challenging. So I'm just going to see how much I can manipulate the arm. It's very stiff plastic here, this arm, but I'm going to kind of move the thumb around a bit, and moving the thumb has helped a little bit there. Just squeezing it around. So I've got one arm getting close to where I want it. Move the camera over a little bit so you can see. And then this arm looks like it's going to be pretty challenging as well. Have to move the camera down to see that. Okay. There we are. So this arm is also pretty, so none of the arms are really gripping where we want them at the moment. So let's try this one. Yeah, it's quite difficult. I might readjust the position. Oh yeah, that helps a bit. So pushing Batman back, then this arm over the gear. Try and pry his fingers open a bit. Okay, so he's holding that gear now, and then his right arm needs to be, or his right hand needs to be adjusted a bit more. I'm going to have to open up his fingers there, kind of twisting a bit to get around. But it is a very tight squeeze. So let's try. I'm going to pull his arm away, and I'm going to just pull his fingers back a bit, just to stretch it open, and then try and put it over the gear. But it still is very tight. Try to push over, and almost there. Looks like we just got there. So now his hands are where we want them. Well, now it's popped his head off. Now I'm just adjusting the cape. Readjusting, I got the head loose, so that becomes a bit of a problem when you've got to push it back in while he's seated. So I'm going to try and hold the body while pressing down to lock in the head, but no, it's not going to want to work very well. So this becomes a challenge. I wonder how many other people have had this issue where the head pops off while he's already in position, and how easy it is for them to clip it back in. But I'm going to try again. Problem is, if you push too much, you may damage the gear sticks, because the hands are holding onto the gear sticks. If you have a look here, his hands are on there, and if you push, it's applying too much pressure on that gear stick component. So hopefully I don't break anything else. So it does not want to clip in very well. But part of the problem is the ball joint. You need to get that lined up before attempting to clip it into place. I apologise for my hands in the way, but it's very hard to work this around the camera. So I'm going to push down, hopefully lock it in. Okay, feels like it's locked in now. And nothing's broken yet. So we'll just adjust the cape. And it's looking pretty good. Now what about his goggle mechanism here? Does that line up well? Not exactly, but you could move the figure forward to line it up a bit better. But if you look at it from a different angle, then it won't look like it's such a misalignment. Now let's pop the cracked canopy cover on and see how it looks. Yep. And that was the easiest part of the whole project. And there he is, inside his Batwing, nice and comfortable. Let's get a far shot. And then we'll zoom in. So pretty happy with that. Now once he's in, you probably won't want to take him out. I don't. So, lucky enough, I bought 4 of these seated Batman, so I will unbox a second one off camera. And while trying to be a comprehensive video, I did not yet show a full turnaround of the box. So that's one side there. This is the back of the box. This is the other side. This is the top side. And the bottom. And here we go. This is what I was saying earlier. When you first take the head off the figure after it's unboxed, then you do have the little insert that is loose originally. But then once you apply a bit of force like I did, then this piece here becomes lodged very well inside the head. So I'm wondering now that that's taken off, if that will sit more flush on the Hot Toys. I don't think so. Alright. Now, the arms that come put on the figure already are for the Batwing, so we're going to take those off. And we're going to put the Batmobile arms on instead. Now they sit very loose, even with the magnets, and these are the magnets that fell off on the other figure that I had that's in the Batwing. Yeah, they're not feeling very secure, although that side is a little more. Actually, the magnet is stronger on this side than on this side. Actually, now that seems to be more magnetized. I see. So they magnetize with each other. So that's how it works. So it's actually completely hollow, and the arms magnetize to each other. Alright, so we'll put the cape on and get it ready for the Batmobile. That one was a lot easier to clip, but maybe that's because I didn't use any tool to pull the ball joint out. So the pliers may have disformed the ball joint in the other figure that I had. But looks like I got that one first go. Pretty happy with that cape position. And we'll take it over to the Batmobile now. So with the Batmobile, it might be best to take the entire canopy piece out, although we may not have to. Let's give it a try without. So we're going to just try and slide him in, but his arms are getting in the way so far. Okay. So it looks like you can go in pretty easily. Let's just say much easier than the Hot Toys. And the trick now is getting his hands on the steering wheel. Let's move the camera around. I'm going to have to move around. And my hands are going to be in the way here, but oh, here we go. So I've put him further down on the seat, and then his arm can grip. We've got the two arms that we want him to grip the steering wheel. Again, his hands are very stiff. Some people have suggested to put them in some water to loosen them up. I might try taking off the canopy and adjusting it. Okay, so canopy's off. Okay, that's going to make it a lot easier now to just push or stretch his fingers around the steering wheel. Okay, so that arm is in, that's great. Trying to just adjust the cape as well. Now the other hand, we can press that over. There we go, and that's in as well. And the positioning of the arms is just perfect for the Batmobile, as you would expect. But it's really nice to see it actually all line up. So let's get a better view. It's really good to see after all this time owning the Batmobile to have the Batman sitting right in there. The only thing missing obviously is a seated Vicky Vale. That would be awesome. Because the first time we do see Batman in the Batmobile was with Vicky Vale as well. It's always impressive when you see the detail inside the Batmobile as well. And then his arms gripped quite well there. Now we'll put the canopy back. Now the only problem here is, just like with the Hot Toys, is that Batman's arm gets in the way of the canopy opening and closing. So we're going to have a look at that closely. So if I shift him over a little bit, we should be able to close the canopy, but the cape does get in the way there, so you do have to fuss with it. And if we tilt him a little more, then he can kind of clear it. But now his ears are poking up a bit, but the canopy raises to accommodate, and then we should be able to close that now. So that's now sitting flush. However, you can't see Batman through there anyway, so really for the Batmobile, if you really wanted to make use of the Batman seated in there, then you would want to have the canopy open, but now trying to open it is a problem because the cape is still in the way, so you have to maybe adjust and move Batman out of the way to clear it, but the cape is still in the way. So this is a problem here, and Jazzinc Batmobile is a problem with the canopy. There's that rubber piece on this side, which does kind of get in the way. But if you open the canopy like I've done, then it might just be a matter of readjusting the cape, because it's just kind of pushed the cape too far forward. So just readjusting would help, and then repositioning the canopy. So now you've got the canopy open as much as it can be, and you've got the cape readjusted, and he's looking like he's seated okay now. Just trying to maneuver the cape a little bit. And we'll get some footage now of him seated properly. And here's Batman in his Batmobile with the canopy on but open. And this is from the other side. So he looks pretty good in there. So now you've got Batman in the Batmobile and Batman in the Batwing. What an awesome collection. And thank you to Jazzinc for making it all possible. And thanks for watching this very long but pretty in-depth video. Hope you enjoyed.